Good evening, District 40, Toastmasters and friends. Welcome to our July podcast episode. My name's Althea Latang, and I represent 1/4 of our District 40 podcast. Now, before we get into introductions with our podcast team, I want to take an opportunity to share with everyone what our podcast mission is. And our mission is simple. We are here to provide education and entertainment to our listeners and our viewers by providing a positive and supportive experience to help our listeners and viewers develop stronger communication and leadership skills. Now, I'm probably sure you've noticed a couple new faces on the screen today. And while maybe some of these individuals may not be strangers to you, I wanted to give our podcast team an opportunity to introduce themselves to District 40. So we'll start off with Angela. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself to the podcast community.
Hey D40, I'm Angela Norman. You might recognize me. I got a brand new face from last year. No, it's still me, but I'm from Toast to Broadway in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm happy to be here and love this team. We're having fun already.
Love that. Thank you, Angela. Let's kick things over to the gentleman over there in the blazer. Who's this guy?
Well, good evening, District 40. My name is Johnny Randolph. I am a member of the Reynoldsburg Toastmasters Club out of Columbus, Ohio. Looking forward to working with you all this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Johnny. And last but certainly not least, the gentleman in the striped shirt.
Thank you. You saved the best for last. My name is Derek Boyer. I'm also a member of Reynoldsburg Toastmasters in Columbus, Ohio, and I am thrilled to be part of the podcast this year.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you guys a part of this team. We're going to have an exceptional year. I can already feel it. But before we get into our first segment, it's customary with Toastmasters meetings that we introduce the word of the day. So the word of today is empower. And the definition is to give official authority or legal power, also to promote the self-actualization or influence of. And use of the word empower in a sentence. Toastmasters meetings empower individuals to find their voice, build confidence, and become effective communicators and leaders.
Absolutely.
All right. So, as we transition into the interview segment of our podcast, I want to take the opportunity to introduce to some our very special guest. So, the individual that will be joining our podcast this evening, his name is Tracy Baker. And Tracy is the District 40 District Director for the 2025-2026 program year. DTM Baker is a 30-year, 6-time distinguished Toastmaster.
Wow.
He is a decorated United States Air Force veteran who loves music, movies, sports, fishing, and sunshine. DTM Tracy Baker, like I said, is our District 40 District Director. He's also a member of Dayton United Communicators in Dayton, Ohio, where he currently serves as the club's treasurer and sergeant at arms. He is a mentor to many. He's a dynamic speaker and a great leader. And we are thrilled to have Tracy with us today to help empower us and D40 to soar to new heights. So help me welcome to the podcast our very own District Director, Tracy Baker.
Woo-hoo!
Hello, Mr. District Director. How are you this afternoon?
Hello, wonderful podcast team, and everyone out there in Zoom land, everyone out there in YouTube land. I am doing exceptionally well today on a beautiful July afternoon.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We're really excited to hear from you, Tracy, about our theme for this year. And I'm curious to hear from you. What was the inspiration behind our theme, which is Empower Your Growth? Can you share that with us?
The first time I met Althea Latang, I said to myself, who is this? She would not call me back. We were working on a project, and I was saying to myself, wow. And since that day, Althea and fellow Toastmasters, I watched Althea empower her own growth, becoming a division director, working on different staffs and different committees, up to and including becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. That is just one story of many that I'm watching this year and for the past years about how people have taken their own destiny into their hands to empower their own growth and to become the leaders and speakers that they want to be. So this year, we're just following that trend. We're just encouraging everyone from the brand newest Toastmaster to the most senior distinguished Toastmaster in our district to always find a way to continue to empower your growth to be as good and as big and as strong as you possibly can be, because this is a continuous learning laboratory. Our theme also for our conference this year will be the evolution of leadership. So we put those two together because we want your leadership to evolve over time, but also we want to make sure when you come to our district conference this year, that which is actually going to be a retreat, you will have had a whole year to evolve, a whole year to empower. And at the end of the day, we want to see how this growth plays out in terms of our conference. We want to see some incredible speakers. We want to see some incredible workshops. We want to see some incredible learning and growing and sharing with each other. So that is what we're looking for, to empower our growth and also to look at the evolution of leadership.
That's really powerful. And just charting. So let me just clarify, because you always bring this up, Tracy. I did return your phone call. Maybe not as quickly as you wanted me to, but I did.
Call her out, Tracy. Let her know. Call her out.
That's always the story, and it's not true. I need to set this record straight. But I appreciate you kind of outlining that. And I think it plays into that theme of empowering the growth. And I think it just takes someone to ask you, number one, if you're willing to do something, and you also saying yes. And those two things will help you empower your growth. So thank you for sharing that. I'll turn things over to Derek to ask a couple of questions.
All righty.
Sure, thank you. So Tracy, I'd like to ask you, what are your top 3 goals you hope to accomplish this year?
Oh, goodness gracious. Derek Boyer, you look like a distinguished, mature man, got the glasses, got the nice beard. I want to be like you. I want to be very, very, very poised, and I want to be very relaxed, and I want to be able to give my speeches as I level set out there, to not be so much all over the place. I want to be a more smooth communicator. I want to be more poised instead of having all my energy in different places. So part of my personal goal is to refine my stage presence, to make sure that I'm able to deliver my message in a way that is very forward and very powerful and very meaningful, as opposed to some of the antics I do. I play music. I do all kinds of different things when I speak. I got gestures. I got voices. But one of my main objectives for me personally is to evaluate and to evolve my leadership and my communications presence. The way that connects to what I want to do for the other goals is I want everyone to do the same thing. I want everyone in District 40 to find their voice, to find their platform, to find their way of doing things. Not everybody's going to talk like Tracy Baker. Not everybody's going to give incredible speeches like Johnny Randolph. Not everybody's as poised and incredible as Derek Boyer. So you have to find your own lane. So I'm going to work on my individual presence. I'm going to encourage everybody else to work on their individual presence. And the third and final thing is I want everyone to have fun. Every time we have an event, whether it's a Toastmaster Leadership Institute, whether it's a club officer training, whether it's an award ceremony, I want us to come together and be professional, all that kind of good stuff. But at the end of the day, I want us to be dancing, do the electric slide. I want us to have fun and smile and do all those things to make the personal side of Toastmasters. Now, I can sit here and talk about we're going to lead the district to distinguish and all those type of things. But I believe if you find your own voice, I believe that if you're having fun, I believe that if you're encouraging everybody else to find their voice and have fun, those other things come into fruition, which are the distinguished program, which is making sure everyone's getting their DTM, their distinguished Toastmaster designations, making sure we're building new clubs, making sure folks are being trained and educated in such a way that, Derek Boyer, they are able to evolve their leadership, they're able to empower their growth, and at the end of the year, we'll have had a wonderful 12 months of incredible learning in Toastmasters because everyone has had fun and everyone has done it their way.
So I appreciate that. And it goes along with my second question, because you've served in many roles in the district. You've been district director, division director, excuse me. You've served as club growth director. What are some of the lessons you learned as you've traveled through all those different experiences and the different leadership roles?
to level set, every single one of us needs to have an assistant. I have been very successful in every role I've been in because I've had incredible, wonderful, powerful, empowered leaders at my side as assistants. Case in point, Althea Latang has been one of my assistants. Last year, I had Renee Mitchell as one of my assistants. And this year, those folks have evolved. Althea's helping with the podcast. Renee is the program quality director. And through all of this, we found a way to make sure that everyone is able to, again, those same things, find their voice, have fun. And when those things come together, Derek Boyer, we all benefit. And at the end of the day, we continue to grow.
So this District 40 is so big. Do you have a plan of how to engage and empower members across such a geographically diverse district?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, if you're going to eat an elephant, you don't just start going in. You don't eat the elephant all at once. You just take a little bitty bite. You take that bite, you sear it, well, no, it's not a good analogy. What I'm trying to say is you don't take the whole thing at once. So I'm not going to jump in here as district director and start saying, we're going to change this, we're going to do that, we're going to be distinguished. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to level set. I love that word. I'm going to level set at the lowest possible denomination, which is to make sure that every member, which of course is on the top of the pyramid, all that kind of good stuff, but every member has a purpose for being in Toastmasters, and hopefully is to empower themselves. A lot of people join Toastmasters, they don't come to the meetings they want to be. I'm not sure why they're there, because when I joined Toastmasters 30 years ago, the very first time I knew about Toastmasters, within 1 minute, I was giving my icebreaker. The next week, I was the president. 3 months later, I was the area director. And that area was distinguished that year because I was empowering myself and those around me. So honestly, what we have to do is make sure every single person has a buy-in. Every single person wants to be here. Now, Derek, when that one person is there and they're coming to the meetings, they're giving speeches, they're involved, they want people to come, they're inviting guests, that club starts to grow because those guests are becoming members. As those guests become members and they come to a club meeting that's powerful and impactful, that has speakers, that has evaluators, that has table topics, that has a sergeant at arms greeting folks, and there's energy and power in that place, people are going to keep coming back. If you go to a club meeting and it's dry and boring, does anyone have a speech? If I'm a guest, I'm not coming back to that club. So we got to make sure that the clubs are good. The clubs are being taken care of by the presidents, the executive committee, the area directors are giving them some of the guidance and some of the resources to do what they have to do. So it just is a building block. It keeps going up. Once the areas are good, then guess what? The divisions are distinguished. I have a Division A director, Kelly O'Keefe, who is right now Select Distinguished Division Director. Do you think she went out and did all the work? Do you think she went out and made everything happen? No, she empowered her area directors, 2 of which were distinguished above, to do the things to make sure that their clubs are taken care of, and the clubs are making sure that their members were taken care of. So when all those things are taken care of, Derek Boyer, I believe that is how you eat that elephant. That is how you take it piece by piece and work it back up. Last year, we were that close to being a distinguished district. That close. And this year, I believe, by working that process of everybody being involved, I believe we're going to make that mark to be a distinguished district this time after several years of not being distinguished. But even if we don't make that mark, fellow Toastmasters, I believe that everyone will have had fun, we will have grown, and we will have found a way to make sure that we've empowered our growth to continue to evolve our leadership.
Awesome. I can give you one suggestion. Use a buffalo instead of elephant because the buffalo is very tasty.
Okay, there you go. I'll do that.
Throw it over to you, Angela. What questions you have for our district director?
I have a question for you. Have you eaten an elephant?
Well, if that's a table topic, I can answer that. There's no question I can't answer with table topics.
Oh, Tracy, it's good to see you, man. How you doing?
And likewise, fellow Steelers fan, I'm doing very well. I'm hopeful for the season, especially with Aaron Rodgers. We're going to win the
Super.
You putting your hopes on Aaron Rodgers? Is that what we're doing? But it's okay.
Was there a question in there somewhere?
No, that's another topic for another conversation.
You know what? Since we're here, what do you think about this new leadership?
Leadership is what leadership is. there are different organizations that has different type of leaders. A football team has a different type of leader. A Toastmasters team has a different type of leader. But at the core value of leadership is caring about and believing in people. And what I believe, Angela, fellow Steelers fan, is that if we care about our people enough and we get them to care about themselves enough, they're going to be led and they're going to lead. And they're going to do all the things they have to do in order for us to be where we need to be. So whether it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, whether it's District 40, Tracy Baker, wherever, we all have to care about our people and we have to have hope. And we definitely have to be hopeful and be very optimistic about the future. I believe right now that two things are going to happen when it comes to leadership. Number one, District 40 is going to prevail. We are going to be very well off by the end of this Toastmaster year. And the Steelers are going to win a Super Bowl. And I believe that when this happens, you will see that anything is possible because on any given Sunday, whether it's football or whether it's Toastmasters, all we have to do is make sure we're taking care of our people and the best can and will happen, especially when we believe.
Amen. I still believe. So these clubs that have low engagement or leaders that have low engagement within Toastmasters, how do you light a spark under them to get them more involved and to keep coming back?
You know what? This happened to me when I was in high school. I went to a special school because at this school I had to sleep under the stairwell till one day this owl came. And the owl brought me these letters and told me I had to report to okay, that's Harry Potter. But the point is, in the movie Harry Potter casts magic spells and makes things happen. Hermione and he who must not be named and all that kind of good stuff. That's fiction. That's fairy tale. I don't have a magic wand to go poof, poof. All these clubs that are struggling are now strong. The magic has to come from within. The magic has to brew in that cauldron of desire to be better. I can't, as a district director, program quality director, club quality director, make anybody's club anything than what it was. Because every club is built on individuals who come together to make things happen. There are clubs that thrive. We got City of Columbus Toastmasters. We have Dayton United Communicators. We have different clubs that thrive.
Reynoldsburg Toastmasters?
I was just about to say Reynoldsburg, Johnny Randolph. Reynoldsburg is definitely up there in the best clubs. But if you look at the common denominators, in each of those clubs, there's 3 or 4 people that are really the impetus for pushing other people to be involved. Every club has a super member. I do not want clubs to have a super member. A super member is that person everybody knows. A super member is a Toastmaster every day and while giving a speech, and they're the president of the club, and they're the Zoom master, and they're the webmaster. That's not a good, strong club. I don't care how many times they've been distinguished. I would rather have a club where the new people are getting involved, giving their icebreakers. The seasoned folks like Derek Boyer and Johnny Randolph are providing sage mentorship and helping with their folks. And they don't have to necessarily be distinguished, which I would love for every club to be distinguished, but they're not. And we just have to accept the fact that where we are is where we are. We can always get better and build, but that has to come from individual members to make that happen. I know my club, Dayton United Communicators, we've been in existence, goodness gracious, for a long time. And what we've done is we have, over the 23 years that we've been in existence, we've gone through ups and downs, ins and outs, different people coming and going. But what we've done and what our founder, Distinguished Toastmaster Kathy Hayes, has always preached and instilled in us is that we are here to have fun and learn. We're here to have fun. No one's getting paid for any of this. No one's job depends on this, though your job can be enhanced by being in Toastmasters. You're not going to eat or not eat based upon your participation in Toastmasters. But what you have to do is you have to remember, fellow Toastmasters, that when it comes to clubs struggling, they have to help themselves before anybody can help them, including the division director, including the area director. And I promise you, when I was the area director 3 times, I was select distinguished and presidents distinguished all 3 times. It wasn't because I was fixing clubs. It was because I was empowering them to make their own fixes and make their own magic and pull out their own magic wand and get on their own staircase. You have to see the movie Harry Potter. I just saw Harry Potter the first time a couple months ago. That's why I'm so enthralled by it. This is like fascinating. I need to watch the rest of them to figure out what's going to happen.
Read the book.
Yes, there you go. Yes, I want to read the books. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yes, leadership is very important. But with the clubs, they have to have leaders that are willing to lead and help those clubs get better. But the individual people have to help, and they're the biggest part of it.
I agree. So we just got new officers for the year. So what do you say to those new officers coming in who might kind of shy away from the role that they've decided to take on, or be like, maybe I'm a little too busy, or I don't know if I can handle all this? Like, what do you say to those leaders that are coming in?
I love the concept of club officer training. I love the concept of clubs having officers. I love the concept of a club, a unit, an organization having leadership. When I was a young airman in the United States Air Force, I was in Izmir, Turkey. I was working for a NATO, the NATO command center. I was working 18 hours a day sometimes, long hours, long days, and I had to do what I had to do. But on those off days, you would go to the Airmen's Club, and at the Airmen's Club, they have music and different things to do, and that's where I discovered Toastmasters on an 18-hour a day type of job. Now, I think I was pretty busy. But somehow, Angela, I found a way to do my icebreaker the first day I knew about Toastmasters. I found a way to be the president the next week. And I found a way to continue on for 30 years. So when it comes to people saying, oh, I'm busy, I'm tired, I don't have bandwidth, I'm tired. Hey, that's okay, because guess what? We can find other people that want to be here, that have the bandwidth. I promise you, if you want to go watch a 3-hour movie called Superman, you can find time to go watch it. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the movie until you've seen it, but you will find time to go watch the movie Superman. If you want to find time to come to a meeting once a week and actually be involved and participate, you will find that time. If you want to find time to be an officer because your club needs you, because you want to be that, because you want to put that towards goals down the future, maybe to become a distinguished Toastmaster, you can. So what I believe is everyone has a why. Everyone has why they're doing whatever it is. And again, I can't make you. I can't force you. Only thing I can do is tell you my story. And after I tell you my story, it'll make you say, wow, because I'm the shyest, most reserved, quietest person you're probably ever going to meet. But if I'm able to do it, why can't you? So please step out on faith, have faith, try a club officer role after you've been in Toastmasters for a while. Try a district role. If you want to be an area director next year, put your name out there. You never know. I have 22 wonderful area directors this year. Some are brand new for the first time, some are repeats. But I promise you, all 22 of those areas are getting a quality person to help lead them this year, to make sure that they have the resources and information and knowledge to make sure that they are doing everything they can to empower, word of the day, themselves.
Wow. Johnny Randolph, would you like to add to any of the
Sure.
points that Tracy's touched on?
Oh, well, I'm not going to add anything, but I do just have one question, Mr. District Director. Earlier, when Derek asked your question, you talked about your evolution as a speaker, which you're working to refine. You also, the theme for this term is about evolution in leadership. In Toastmasters, we have channels of leadership and communication. My question to you is, which do you prefer, the leadership track or the communications track? And why?
They're intertwined in my mind. You can't have one without the other. Back in the 90s, when I was going to be an R&B singer, I was sitting down and I said, my heart belongs to Tenderoni. All of a sudden, Bobby Brown comes by and says, hey, I want to write that down. Next thing you know, he has $1 million. Now, if I would have stood up as a leader, as a speaker, and sung the song myself, I would be sitting here as a millionaire and top gold album having. But instead, he has it. The point there is that if you have something on your heart, your mind, your spirit, you have to share it. And if you're in a leadership position, when you share that communication with people, they're hearing what you're saying and they'll say, wow, my heart belongs to Toastmasters and I want to find out how I can engage that and make it happen so that's even better. Don't be cruel when it comes to Toastmasters. Find a way to find happiness when it comes to that, because every little step I take, you will be there. You see how we're doing this Bobby Brown thing? You started that, Johnny Randolph, by singing that song and putting it in my head. The point I'm trying to make here is that you can't have one without the other. You have to have, you can't have Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike without having Johnny. You got to have all of them together as a team. You can't have Bring Me Thanos, Thor without Iron Man and without Black Widow. So the point I'm trying to make is the team has to come together. The team, when it comes to your individual growth and empowerment, is having those two elements of leadership and communication. And I don't think I can prefer one over the other, because they work in tandem together as a couple to make sure that you're able to make your voice shine and pop. especially when it comes to empowering your own growth. So I definitely have to have both of them at the same time.
Okay. That's all that I have. I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Latang.
I do have another question for you, Tracy. So you've mentioned that your tenure in Toastmasters, 30 years.
Yes.
Tracy, what keeps you coming back every 6 months, renewing your membership?
My why is you out there, Latang. As I told you before, there's people like you that I watch, that I'm inspired by, that make me say, wow, this is why I'm here. When I meet people, the thousands and thousands of people all around the world, I've met so many people in person even before Zoom, but after Zoom, I've met 10,000 people in a program. And most of the people I meet, they're like you. They're very positive, very pleasing. They have a certain desire to want to make sure that they're evolving and growing, but they're also helping other people. And when it comes to Toastmasters, there's going to be some people that just don't like you. Not everybody in the world likes Tracy Baker. They don't. But the people that do listen to me and are inspired by me inspire myself to keep inspiring them, which makes it easy to pay the dues every time we have a renewal period. And I believe that as a former club growth director and someone who had to be involved with doing dues renewal every year, my why, and I would tell people all the time to find out what their why is and tell their why, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be a Toastmaster for life. I'm going to be in this program probably until the last day I can be on this earth, because it's helped me tremendously over the past 30 years. But some people may come in Toastmaster because they want to do a wedding toast. So they come in for a couple of weeks and they quit. Some people do Toastmaster because maybe they want to get a DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, and then they want to call it a day. I can't speak to their why, but my why and why I keep coming back is because of people like you that make this program worthwhile and make it a pleasant thing to be a part. And I hope that you continue to renew your dues every year. And I hope all 5 of you incredible leaders continue to do the same, because this is why Toastmasters is where leaders are made, and we are making each other better, especially as we empower our growth.
I love that. Thank you, Tracy. Well, before we let you go, I want to do a quick round of this or that, right? So, Tracy, I know that you have the gift of communication, dynamic communication. So with these options, you're not going to have an opportunity to give us or wow us with a speech. I need you to tell me if you prefer this or that. So you're going to go with your gut. Okay? Are you ready for it?
Yes.
All right, these topics are related to Toastmasters first. So, table topics or prepared speeches?
Without a doubt, table topics all day long.
All right, evaluations or being evaluated?
Being evaluated all day long.
Okay, club officer or contestant?
Club officer all day long.
Pathways or the legacy manuals?
Oh, pathways, without a doubt. It's 1,000% better.
This or that, Tracy? In-person meetings or virtual?
In person all day. In person all day.
All right. How about humorous speech contest or international speech contest?
International. International.
And timer or awe counter?
Timer.
Okay. We're moving on into music, one of your favorite categories. Are you more of a slow jams person or a dance track?
Play another slow jam.
Right? 90s R&B or 2000s?
90s by far. Oh my gosh. 90s by far.
All right, here we go. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Well, it's going to have to be. It's got to be starting something. Come on now.
Got you. All right, in the same vein, Purple Rain or Thriller?
Thriller. Yes, Thriller.
Okay. Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston?
And it would have to be Whitney Houston. She is the best of all time, ever, in any era.
All right, so let's move on to some summer foods. Tracy, are you into watermelons or pineapples?
The sweeter, the juicier, the redder the watermelon, got to go with the watermelon.
All righty. Iced tea or lemonade?
Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink.
Got it. Hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hot dogs with burn marks and with mustard all day long.
Popsicles or ice cream?
Ice cream, a peach from UDF, United Dairy Farmers. That's a national law.
Shout out to UDF. All right. Corn on the cob or baked beans?
Baked beans.
All right.
With just a little bit of honey. Just a little bit.
Of honey. Okay. Last category, travel. Solo travel or group travel?
Solo.
Road trip or flight?
Flight.
Staycation or an international adventure?
Staycation.
All right. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel. 5-star.
And my last this or that question for you, Tracy, based on the fact that the world just lost an incredible actor yesterday, The Cosby Show or A Different World?
I would always have my Gordon Gartrell shirt for life because it has to be Cosby Show. Theo was my guy, my same age and everything.
Same. Love it. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for being our first guest for this program year. It's been amazing having you, as always, on the podcast. And before we let you go for the evening, is there any words of encouragement or any inspirational things you want to share with District 40?
Absolutely. District 40, we can do this. It starts with the member, the clubs, the area, the division, all the way up. And all we have to do is make sure that the club officers are listening in on the area director visits. Make sure you're getting your club success plans out there. Make sure you're talking to your leaders. If you're a leader yourself, say an area director, and you're overwhelmed, talk to your division director. If you're a club president or VP of education and you're overwhelmed, talk to your area director. There is help. There's a support system. All we have to do is ask for it, and all we have to do is make sure that we're doing everything that we can to make sure we're individually okay and that our clubs are okay. When we do that, we'll continue to grow and empower ourselves, and at the end of our leadership evolution, you will see that we are distinguished in more ways than one. It's been a pleasure talking to you all today, and I look forward to reaching out to each one of you over the course of the next year. And this year will be fun. It's an educational, engaging, and fun thing, just like this District 40 podcast. So I really appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you, Tracy, so much for those kind words. And we'll see you next time, Tracy. Have a good night.
Okay, everybody take care.
All right, friends, and there you have it. Our District 40 District Director, Tracy Baker. Looking forward to an incredible program year. Now we're going to transition into the news segment of our podcast episode. And with that, we'll have Derek Boyer take charge of that. So over to you, David. Oh, Derek Boyer, over to you.
I don't think I've ever been called David. All right, Toastmaster and friends. It's time for one of our favorite parts of the show, News You Can Use. This is where we bring our latest updates, helpful insights, and announcements from across District 40. Whether you are a brand new member or a seasonal leader, this is your go-to spot to find out what's happening, what's ahead, and how you can get involved. Each of our co-hosts tonight has a quick highlight to share, so let's jump right on in. Mr. Randolph, what you got for us tonight?
Okay. Whenever we conduct a presentation, whether we're at work or Toastmasters, at a conference, sometimes we have to incorporate PowerPoint as a visual aid. The thing that people should remember about PowerPoint is that you, as the speaker, are the star, not the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is there to reinforce your message as a speaker. Today, I'm going to talk about a little tip for how to give a presentation when you have to leverage a PowerPoint. Speakers, the thing you should remember about PowerPoint is don't overload your slides with a lot of information, charts and graphs and bullet points and descriptions, even if that information is pertinent and useful. Too much information on one slide can overwhelm your audience, right? They're just confused, like, what do I look at? And remember, you want your audience focused on you. And if they're looking at all these things that are on the PowerPoint, they can't focus on you. And if they're focused on you, they can't focus on the PowerPoint. Or they're trying to divide their time, like, should I look at the PowerPoint? Should I look at Johnny? Or should I look at the speaker? And it is utter confusion. It is my recommendation that for your slide, you only use one topic per slide. Select the graph, select one bullet point, select a chart or a description, and that is where your expertise and preparation will come into play. You will be prepared as the speaker to discuss whatever graphic that you have on the screen. You will be able to provide insight and expertise. This, I feel, has served me well over my past. And the next time that you have a presentation, don't overwhelm your audience with too much information. Choose one topic per slide. Back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you, Johnny. Althea, what you got for us tonight?
Well, thank you, Mr. Moderator. I am here to share with District 40 the club officer training sessions that are offered this summer. Tracy mentioned that during his time with us during the interview, but there are 2 in-person sessions that are coming up in August. Just wanted to make you guys aware of those. So the first one is going to be on August the 2nd. It's a Saturday, from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Walnut Hills branch library in Cincinnati, Ohio. So there's information on the D40 website where you can go to sign up and attend that in-person session for club officers. And there is another session the next Saturday, which is August the 9th. This one will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Scott County Public Library in Georgetown, Kentucky. Again, information on how to register for both sessions are available on the D40 website. And with that, there's other opportunities for members to engage with learning opportunities, and those will be through our Webinar Wednesday series. So there will be a Webinar Wednesday session tomorrow, July 23rd at 7 p.m. And the topic is completing your club success plan. So for you club officers, club presidents, really great opportunity for you to come out and learn about the club success plan. They're going to walk you through all the steps to complete it. And again, a great opportunity for you to learn more about that. Every Wednesday, there will be a session available. So again, please take a look at the D40 website to receive that information. The Zoom link, these are all virtual. I don't think I mentioned that, but these are all virtual. So the Zoom link is available for you to join and learn more about your club success plan. So with that, I'll turn things back over to Derek. Thank you.
Thank you, Althea. Lots of information out there for us to be trained. As a former DTC chair, I love all of the opportunities to get training out there for our club officers. Angela, what do you have for us tonight?
I can't hear Angela. I think you're on
You're on
mute.
mute. Yeah, you're on mute, Angela.
I didn't fully hit the button. Thank you. Thanks, Derek. I was recently, Johnny's topic gave me something to think about this week because I recently gave a presentation this week and I nailed, or at least I think I nailed the presentation, but at the end, I was in front of a bunch of important people in my company, and at the end, there's a questions, like, Q&A for about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, I just kind of like fumbled into myself, like, let me grab my laptop, let me look at this. I don't know what I was doing. Like, I knew the information, but all of a sudden I was just caught off guard with some of the questions they were answering. So I was just thinking of ways to kind of counteract that if you run it into where you're giving a presentation or a speech where there's a question and answer at the end, how to prepare for that and at least get some practice in so you're not caught off guard so much. But so one of the things is to think about who your audience is when you're preparing ahead of time and what could confuse them or what they might have questions about. And one of my new best friends, I mean, you can do this in front of actual friends and see what their questions might be, or you can ask our new best friend ChatGPT and let them know who your audience is going to be and what you're speaking on. And it will anticipate so many great questions for you that you can actually help prepare yourself ahead of time, just like you're giving a speech. So I just think that's something very important, at least that came up in my week this week, and it was some news that I probably could have used a little bit ahead of time. So there's my news.
Angela,
It's
just if I could
interesting.
weigh in real quick. I'm just gonna say, don't end your presentation with Q&A. Have a point for Q&A and then finish up the last part where you want to end. Because people will remember the last thing that was going on, and they'll remember maybe that there was some confusion. So have your Q&A, but then you wrap it up in the way that you want to with your final closing and takeaway.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. That's
I'm your speaker
weird.
coach, so come talk to me. We're good.
I feel empowered. Thanks.
I never thought about using ChatGPT to give you some pre-questions. That's pretty cool. A great way to
It's a great
incorporate AI into that. One of my friends calls his ChatGPT Chauncey. I won't say who. But the news I want to share tonight
Milo.
is I want to talk about something that happened a few months back in April. Back in April, District 40 had a demo meeting with the Urban League in Cincinnati, a powerful step forward to launching a new Toastmasters Club in partnership with a respected community organization. Now, for those of you who don't know, a demo meeting is basically a showcase as a way to demonstrate what a typical Toastmasters meeting is and what it looks like to someone who's never been to one. It's educational, it's engaging, and a great way to plant the seed for a future club. This event was hosted by our district director, Tracy Baker, along with a few key members like Jeffrey Vaughn and John Mitchell. Together, they brought the energy, of course, structure, and support that defines the Toastmaster experience. And what a great response they had. It was truly inspiring. The attendees, many of whom were professionals and community leaders, left feeling empowered, intrigued by what Toastmasters has to offer. But here's a bigger story, right? This wasn't just about adding another club to the list. This was about meeting people where they are, in their own communities, with relevant tools for leadership and communication development. It's an example of what growth looks like when we focus on purpose, not just on numbers. So what's the takeaway for us? If you ever thought about helping to launch a club, maybe in your workplace, your church, or through a local organization like the Urban League, this is your sign to take that first step. This is impactful. It's real, and the support for the district is always there to help you. That's my news for tonight. Back to you, Althea.
Real quick, in the chat, we have a question. It comes from Kent Burley, and he says, when is the D40 podcast going to have their own page on the D40 website?
Ooh, I love that question, Kent. Well, it sounds like we need to work with our public relations manager to make that happen. So I appreciate the suggestion. Thank you. Awesome. Great. Well, we are at the interview segment of our podcast episode. As customary with Toastmasters meetings, there's always an evaluation. We grow from feedback. So with that, I'll turn things over to Angela to introduce our evaluation section.
Okay, guys, in the spirit of tonight, I have prepared a speech that I think is empowering and also that our guests would appreciate, as well as hopefully a lot of listeners and us as well. Evaluations are such an important part of our meetings, what we do, what we learn, and giving good feedback is so crucial to great leadership, as well as helping other people grow. So let me go ahead and cue up the speech I have prepared for us tonight to evaluate.
How many of y'all think y'all can like run really fast? Who's a speedster? Okay, hands down. Who can jump really far? Who's a leaper? Who's got a vert? Great, okay, hands down. Who's really strong? If you're a strong guy, you don't win physical confrontation. You don't lose physical confrontations. Beautiful, great. None of that matters. None of it matters. Hear me. Hear me. It's not what you're capable of. It's what you're willing to do. Everybody hear me? It's not what you're capable of. It's what you're willing to do. I know plenty of people that are capable. I know fewer people that are willing. You know what I mean? Will is a powerful thing. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do? When I was a little dude your age, me and my big brother, we watched a lot of TV, man, like a lot of kids, probably more than we should. But you know what we did? Whenever it was a commercial on, we did push-ups or sit-ups. When our arms got tired, we went to sit-ups. When our stomachs got tight, we went back to push-ups. Isn't that the truth, big bro? Whenever we watched TV and a commercial was on, we went to work. We did push-ups and sit-ups during the commercial. When we come back here next year, I want to see how many of you guys establish that habit. I want to see how many of you guys are willing to establish that habit. Come back next year and let me know, because it's going to be easy to do tonight for that first program. You know what I mean? We did it all the time, guys. It became habit. It became us, even to the point where we no longer counted. It was just commercial, push-ups. Ooh, my arm's burning. Sit-ups. Ooh, my stomach's tight. Push-ups. Whew, I'm glad my show back on. You know what I mean? I challenge you guys to do that. Establish that habit. When you're watching TV and the commercials are on, push-ups and sit-ups. Give it up for Mr. Francis, baby.
Okay. Short but sweet. Hit home. I used to do the splits during all the commercials when I was practicing my gymnastics. It was hard to find an interview with Tomlin where he is only speaking for a few minutes, but I always find him so impactful. But who wants to go first? Althea, you want to evaluate Mr. Tomlin here?
I will share that I appreciate his engagement with the audience, asking them questions, getting them involved in his speech, I thought was great. I kind of felt like he was rushing through the questions a little bit. I felt like he didn't give them an opportunity to fully respond before he transitioned to the next question, but I still appreciate the engagement with the audience. What I do really appreciate as well is repetition. There were a couple of times that he would repeat a phrase or a word, and I think he's trying to emphasize or drive home a point. And I think that's a really good strategy that speakers use to have the message be memorable. So if there's like a tagline or like a call to action, using repetition would be a good strategy to help drive your point home. And another thing before I turn it over, I wrote down, he said, it's not what you are capable of, it's what you're willing to do. And I think that ties into our conversation with Tracy earlier about just people's growth and being empowered and seeking opportunities to really strengthen themselves. So those were a couple of things that I caught during the speech, but I'll turn it over to Derek. What were your thoughts about the speech?
I agree with you that I felt like he was rushing. I don't know if he maybe didn't have a lot of time, but we asked a question. He was like, "How many of you are strong?" All right. It's like really doesn't give anyone a chance to raise their hand, or he was telling you put your hands down really fast. He came across very authoritative to me, like he was sound like he was almost yelling. So depending on your audience, that may have come across in the wrong way. I see like he was talking to kids, so maybe probably didn't affect him the same way it affected me because I'm like, why is he yelling at me? Kind of like, but he had a lot of energy. I felt that he used the stage effectively. He was moving around. He wasn't just standing in one spot, and he kind of ended abruptly to me. And I was wanting a better ending. I do agree that he repeated a lot of his points. So we walked away knowing exactly what he was trying to convey, but then he just like, okay, here's so and so, and it was it.
Right.
Okay, I'll jump in. Coach Tomlin, I felt, though, while we didn't know specifically what the demographic of the audience was, he knew what it was. And it was a lot of boys. and they knew him as a football coach, and they knew him as an aspire for a football team. And they were young men that were probably participating in some sport that knew who he was. I thought he created a great environment while they were in an auditorium of kind of duplicating a locker room setting where it's not necessarily, oh, raise your hand. Like, it's like, you ready to do this? You ready to do this? So I thought he did a good job of setting that environment for them to follow like it was a sporting event. So I thought that was really good. And one of the things that I think we talk about when in speaking is be your authentic self. I liked he didn't change it to accommodate that he was in a high school. He's a football coach who's responsible for winning championships. And he treated them like this was a locker room and he was a football coach. So I thought he was coming across as being his authentic self, and his audience understood that. That is why they were responsive. The feedback that I would give him for improvement from my perspective, I felt like, you know what I mean, was a filler word. He ended it a couple of times when he could have just paused to let the message sink in, but he said, you know what I mean. It's almost like he didn't want silence because in his head he felt he always had to be active and engaged. But I thought he knew his audience. I thought he brought great intensity. I thought he was his authentic self. I just like him to pull back a little bit on the filler words. Overall, I thought this was very inspiring. I'll play for Coach Tomlin if I could ever do it. So I thought he served the purpose of why he was there.
Would you, during breaks and commercial breaks, drop down and do push-ups and sit-ups like he recommended?
I do that right now. That's why I look like this. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Let's see it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'll give us 20.
Let's see it right now. Give us 20, Johnny.
We
Let's go.
pay extra money for no ads now. So we don't have to do that.
What about you,
I
Angela?
know my knees are stopping me from doing it, so it's all you.
You don't need your knees to do push-ups.
Right.
I have to use my knees to get down on the floor.
Well,
Oh, there you go. Just stay
That's
there.
true. That's true. That's true.
all right, Angela, what were your thoughts?
I agree with most everything that's been said. The only other thing that there was a stumble over a word or something at the beginning, but the hat kind of took away from his facial expressions, which he has a lot of facial expressions and passion and things he says all the time. So that was the only thing that struck me kind of weird about this speech in particular. I agree. I think he knew his audience, so he was speaking to these kids. I could even argue that the I know what you mean is keeping their attention. But either way, yes, there were some filler words. And one thing I do like that I found consistent when I was trying to find a good Tomlin speech, because I find him very inspiring, and just the way he approaches coaching and relates it to life is just always so cool. But this was between the shortest thing I could find until we got to like 20 minutes. So, what was I going to say? There we go. So the thing that I like about him is he never uses, I don't want to say like a large vocabulary, but he always keeps it very real and very much so you can tell what he's saying on any level. And he is his authentic self, and people will get that, even though when he explains the way he coaches to people or the way he views coaching or anything, you can go hear him talk at like commencement speeches and stuff, and he just keeps it real the whole time and relates his point of view tailors it to his audience so well. So I do think he's really great at that. But
at commencement addresses, is he as intense as he was here?
maybe not as a kind of aggressive sounding,
Right.
but passionate, yes.
And
Passionate.
the reason I ask, because Derek made a good point, I thought. our audience and who we are, it does make a difference in how the message was received. And when I looked at the audience, it looked like it would, to me, there were boys who played in sports. But let's say we are at a graduation ceremony, maybe to Derek's point, that level of intensity, maybe it's a little like, hey, calm down just a little bit. So I was just curious.
I think it's passionate, but I don't think it's as, I've been to these football camps with my sons.
Yeah.
I think it is more, I'm putting you in this locker room.
Yeah, because look at that. That looks like all boys.
You're aspiring to be an NFL athlete. I'm trying to just give you the motivation to do great at this camp or whatever it was that he was speaking to. So
Yeah.
I do think it's audience. Most of the things you find are football related, so they are kind of intense this way, but there's quite a few commencement speeches that he has out there that are, and he's been on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and stuff, and he just speaks well to his audience, I think.
Yeah. I just want to
situations, but
how would
yeah.
it change? Go ahead, Derek. I'm sorry.
I would say conversely too, that a speaker needs to know your audience as well as the audience need to know your speaker. Because I'm not a football person, so I had no idea who he was. So I'm listening to speech for the first time. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Say, who's this guy?
Right. And if we're at a commencement address, right? So you got you got nanas and all of those things, and maybe the first time that they're seeing him, this guy yelling at us, right? The passion is there, but maybe sometimes, because in Toastmasters, we talk about that. Know your audience and your vocal variety. His was very high. I didn't see a lot of variety in it, right? I saw it as very high level. But again, he's a football coach and he's talking to young men, so maybe he knew his audience better.
Yeah. Either way, good points. Either way, good points.
Yeah, good. It's a good speech.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's hit it home.
Yes, friends. So we are at the end of our episode. Yay, the first episode. Whoop, whoop. How does it feel, Johnny and Derek? Your first episode. Well, Johnny, you're back. You were with us season 1. So you're back for season 4. What are your thoughts so far?
Thought it was great. I think the District 40 podcast is doing great things, and I am happy to have the opportunity to serve with my fellow co-hosts.
Love it. What about you, Derek? What are your thoughts so far?
Well, as we talked in our pre-meeting, I'm not a person that watches this podcast. I'm like, I didn't know what to expect. I have seen the District 40 podcast several times, but being a part of it, being on the other side of it, it was great and interesting. I loved it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
Love that. Awesome. Well, if you want to get more podcast content, come back and see us next month. We go live every 4th Tuesday at 7 p.m. The episodes stream live on the D40 YouTube channel. We are exploring other platforms to share the content, so more to come with that. And also, if you have any episode suggestions, we are open to hearing what you want to see in the podcast. So please feel free to reach out to any of the members within our podcast team, and we love to try to incorporate some of your feedback into what we're doing. But with that, again, thank you, Tracy Baker, for being our guest this month. And with that, we'll bid you farewell, District 40. Until next month, have a great evening.